I mean, if you're giving user guides and having to download a user guide to use your relatively straightforward platform, something's not working properly.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Velocitize Talks. I'm Andy North, and today I'm here with Jerome Tam, Director and Founder, Rush Hour Digital. Jerome, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me on here.
Rush Hour Digital brands itself as thinking differently, not because it can, but because it should. So tell us about your company and what sets it apart in the marketplace.
Yeah, so we've always come from a place where we try to set goals with our clients and we try to be more of a consultant with them as opposed to be just a simple executant. So generally speaking, even when the brief doesn't necessarily include a discovery phase, we still go through the same exercise with the client and really try to figure out what the project is for. I know it sounds kind of like, it should be obvious that, there's a goal for a particular project. But I think sometimes for brands, they are just revamping a website. There isn't particularly set goals or set reason for doing so. I think that's one of the biggest things that we set ourselves apart from at least especially in Hong Kong.
You were in the midst of rebranding your company, which was Rush Hour Media, into Rush Hour Digital. Talk a little bit about the impetus behind that change and how the agency has changed to reflect that.
Yeah, so when we started in 2012, me with my original co-founder, Jake, we started doing responsive websites for clients. That was one of the things that we started doing as Rush Hour Media. We saw that there's a bit of a gap in the market. What started as essentially a job search for Jake turned into a market research, and we realized that companies or agency were either doing kind of like mobile version sites or they do responsive, but it's quite expensive. So we thought that we could enter to that space by providing. Be very honest, back then it was mostly template-based work, but it was able to offer at a much kind of more affordable pricing. And back then we also did a lot more branding and graphic design work. One of our early projects redesigning a in-flight magazine. Obviously now our core focus is purely digital. We still do branding, but is pretty much always for digital first brands, which is much more what we are about and what we understand. And also, nowadays we're building mostly digital products, from large platforms to, massive publishing websites that serves 1 million plus page views per month. So we felt that, to be honest, it's been in our mind for a long time to be rebranded to Rush Hour Digital. It's been a few years in the making, but as per usual, everything always get in the way. Clients take priority, projects takes priority, and I think I think many people, COVID allow us to have a bit of space and kind of time to reflect on ourselves and kind of do some of the internal projects that we want to do and haven't had a chance to do.
Your team has a unique skill set. You're based in Hong Kong. They are fluent in Cantonese, English, and French, as well as PHP and CSS. What is it like working with customers in so many languages who come from so many different backgrounds? And how does that help your team provide a better service for them?
Obviously, having language skills helps with client communication. We have a whole bunch of French-speaking clients here, like Alliance Française, French Chamber of Commerce, etc., and including French National School. So all of those obviously French-speaking clients, having a client's team member that speaks the language, that definitely helps. And obviously, based in Hong Kong, we also have a lot of even international businesses, right? Have a lot of Cantonese speakers. Obviously, that really helps as well. We also have a Sydney office now, so having that kind of global team in-house, having different perspective from different background, different regions of the world, really help us kind of understand the needs of international clients and understand the kind of cultural differences.
In your opinion, how can good user experience or user interface provide improved benefits across the board? And how does a better UX or UI positively impact the business goals?
I think the best way to explain the kind of benefits of it is, on the extreme negatives. So, there's nothing worse than coming onto a site, especially if it's functional. You're trying to join a membership, you're trying to purchase a ticket for an event or purchase actual product, and you come on board and the experience is awful. you're not going to use it. It's going to leave a bad taste in your end users or your client's mouth. So, obviously having a great user experience allow that flow to go a lot smoother, a lot quicker. The clear advantage there is obviously you're likely to make more sales, and also, you're going to have a much better, a positive brand experience for your clients. Therefore, reinforces the brand loyalty. And also a lot of time we also found that this sounds a bit silly, but the amount of time that we have built kind of big dashboards or big platforms to clients, and the previous versions they used to send out user manuals for their clients, or their especially like kind of like some of the membership type system that we built for clients. They have user manuals and user guides. I mean, if you're giving user guides and having to download a user guide to use your relatively straightforward platform, something's not working properly.
There's been a lot of discussion that eventually websites might go away to be replaced by apps, yet WordPress, which is now 41% of the web, and other CMSs are still going strong, and websites are still going strong. Do you believe in the death of the website, the impending death, or is there enough headroom for apps and websites to coexist in the marketing industry going forward?
What we have seen a lot more, and what our clients are asking us for, is to build out the web presence or the web platform first, and then we build out the apps that uses the same database, or grabbing certain parts of the app experience from a centralized database, which is often the website. So, for example, we launched the TV5 Monde, the TV channel, it's Asia Pac region website, and also the iOS and Android app, which is a hybrid app, which is built on Ionic. And the front end actually is also headless. So we use a backend CMS, and then the front end is built on Angular. But all three platforms speaks to the same, or grab things from the same database. It just makes things a lot easier for the client.
Talk a little bit about your team's experience with Headless, and what are some of the advantages you see with using Headless technologies?
Yeah, I mean, we're a big advocate for open source CMSs like WordPress and Drupal. We use both of them for different things. And the Headless technology allow us to produce secure, because CMSs are checked and vetted by a large community of devs. And also, there's already the back end user interface already set up, ready to go. Some of the user management is already there.
I want to shift gears a little bit and ask you about how your company and you yourself have been impacted by the COVID pandemic. It's clearly had an effect on the world, not to mention the digital marketing industry. What are some of the opportunities you see as a result of the changes that have come about during the pandemic?
I mean, for us, we have a lot of inquiries regarding how B2B businesses can use tech or their digital platform to assist some of their face-to-face sales processes that they might used to do, especially for kind of like wholesaler perspective. They used to do face-to-face. They fly over the globe with a suitcase full of whatever product they're selling. Obviously, that's no longer the case. So obviously, Zoom is a great tool for the video and the voice communication. But there isn't, even with screen share, there isn't that kind of like sales process leading up to it, or post-sales process that you can build into that. So we're having a lot of conversation around that type of technology, as well as, education side.
We like to ask our guests, if there's one thing that you could change about marketing, what would that be?
For the marketing sites that we do, generally speaking, that in our case nowadays is kind of corporate sites or big group sites with their kind of like brand sites that we do for them. And one thing that I'd say that especially in this market is that people try to say too many things at once, and therefore overwhelm people. For me, or for us, we try to limit each individual screen or engagement or page to be about one thing. And so that is easy to digest, and people can walk away with one message.
What's the best professional advice you've either heard or been given?
My dad always said to me that I don't really care what you do, but whatever you choose to do, be your profession or to do for a living, be the best at it. And I think that always stuck to me. So I try to be the best at what we do, and trying to get our team to be best at what we do. Some areas are better than other areas, but that is one of the best advice, or one of the things that really stuck to me. On a business level, one of the things that investor slash mentor said to me is that cash flow is king. Always manage your cash flow. It doesn't matter what is on your revenue stream, etc. You don't have a good cash flow, things are going to get tough real fast. So especially for small business, which for most independent agencies like our size, like 18, 20 people.
Is there a book, a blog, or a podcast that you're a fan of that you'd like to share with our viewers?
I do have a podcast to recommend. I do listen to a lot of them. Wondery has a podcast called Business Wars. They have stories of rivalries like Sony PlayStation versus Xbox and things like that. But recently, the latest series they're doing is about the COVID vaccine and how they came about. And it's super interesting about how, like, some of the details that I didn't know about how, for example, most of Pfizer, BioNTech vaccine, Moderna, and AstraZeneca, all those vaccines were being developed before it was a pandemic. They're all very interesting business war stories, but the recent one about the vaccine is A, very topical, and B, just insightful in general.
My guest today has been Jerome Tam, director and founder of Rush Hour Digital. Jerome, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.